The Santa Fe Trail was the all-important link between the United States.
This is Sibley's Camp here in Larned, Kansas, and the sign says on August 31st, 1825, campsite of the Santa Fe Trail Survey Team. Here on August 31st, 1825, the Santa Fe Trail Survey Team camped. The setting is captured in George C. Sibley's September 1st diary entry, which states, "The Pawnee River is here about 40 yards wide, banks pretty high, bottom sandy, water at present muddy. Timber elm, ash elm, elder, cotton tree, willow, and grapevines. Yesterday I turned off from the direct course and struck the Arkansas at the mouth of this river, and then coursed it up about a mile to the fording place near which we are now encamped, which is just at the foot of a high rocky hill. The path leading up to the mouth of the ford passes between the Pawnee and some cliffs of soft rock upon the smooth faces of which are cut the name of many persons who have at different times passed this way to and from New Mexico. Some Indian marks are also seen on these rocks." This spot is real close to where the Santa Fe Trail went through. Zebulon Pike was one of the early explorers that went through here, supposedly chasing after the Mexican army, and actually it was kind of a subterfuge type of thing that they were using to spy on the Santa Fe army and get the Santa Fe Trail started and trade routes. And we'll move around here to the side in a little bit. You'll be able to see the stone wall. A lot of it was forded out and stuff for the fort that's built out by Larned. And there's a cave in there that one of the local residents told us about that used to be about 40 feet deep, but now with all the carvings it's much shallower. For several years, like I say, building the fort around here, and then several other projects. And you can see a lot of the tooling lines still in there where they came in and carved it out. And then also it's had some natural breakaways.
Quite a stone structure though.
It's real tall.
Used to drill holes in it, place their explosives in there, and then just blow it out.
This is the cave they were talking about that used to be about 40 feet deep. Now it's, what, 15? At best.
That's just all from sloughing, huh?
This is the Little Red House. This is actually a reconstruction of the first building that was ever in Larned. The building here was reconstructed from plans they found on the original building. The original building was actually built out at Fort Larned, which is about 5-6 miles to our west. And then when they started establishing Larned as a town, they moved this building down the river, floated it down the river, I believe, part of the way, and then ended up carrying it across the river and done mostly in one piece. This building served as a school for a while. It served as a hotel, I think, for a while. It also was a speakeasy at one point, and I think somebody told me it was also the jail originally too. So this building has quite a history, and it's all reconstructed out of plans of the day and a lot of the wood that was salvaged from other buildings around that were older, circa late 1800s, 1890s. I said. Our last stop on this weekend's travel tour is at the Santa Fe Trail Center. This is another attraction at Larned here. It's established about 3 miles west of Larned. You can see they've got some mementos here, some things from the Memorial Battalion that was stationed here, some cannons. Inside they've got a lot of static displays and stuff like that that depict life on the prairie, early Indian dugouts, a lot of things like that. They also have several traveling shows that go through here generally once a year from the Smithsonian and stuff like that. All that information is available. I believe they have a website, and if they do, we'll get a link up to it on sandylandcenter.org. So I could catch up on office work that I couldn't get done for today. I did go to Belleville.
The Santa Fe Trail Center is a regional museum dedicated to preserving and interpreting the history of the geographic area that was once known as the Santa Fe Trail. In 1974, the Santa Fe Trail Center opened its doors as a tribute to the efforts that eventually led to the Santa Fe Trail. The Santa Fe Trail was a great trade route which linked the United States with Mexico and later with its own American Southwest, blending the Indian, Spanish, and American cultures. The era of the Santa Fe Trail began in 1821 when Mexican independence from Spain opened up new trade opportunities for both American and Mexican merchants. Pulled by oxen and mules, commercial freight wagon trains crossed the plains until the railroad arrived near Santa Fe in 1880. This eventually brought an end to the need of the trail, and a new era began as settlers established homes, farms, and ranches along the ruts of the old trail. A major influence to the plains were the buffalo. The museum has a real full-sized mounted buffalo which the Native Americans depended on for survival. Later, the white man wiped out the population of these magnificent animals. Ready? Also on display is a reproduction of a Wichita Indian grass lodge and prehistoric Indian artifacts revealing the daily life and craftsmanship of Native Americans. Along the Santa Fe Trail, commercial freight wagons carried trade items from the Mexicans, such as wool, chili peppers, gold and silver, or American trade items such as guns and ammunition, food, and clothing. As part of the settlement along the ruts of the Santa Fe Trail, the museum depicts the arrival of the railroad, creating faster transportation than wagons. We also feature a series of rooms representing pioneer settlement life in the early 1900s. The museum also contains an impressive collection of historic firearms showing the progression of weapons from flintlock to cartridge style.
And a way cool car, too.
Larned pottery. Pottery and bricks were produced commercially from this area's high-quality clay, but when cool heated, kilns were replaced with natural gas in other parts of the state. The Larned products became unprofitable. Besides the Santa Fe Trail Center's wonderful indoor exhibits, the museum has a 24-acre complex with historic and reproduced structures. Reproductions of a sod house and a dugout house represent very early settlers' homes. Lumber and stone were rarely available. Thus, digging into the side of a hill or using sod were frequently the only options. The museum's other 4 outdoor buildings are all original structures moved to the museum grounds. These buildings include the one-room Ladora Schoolhouse built in 1902 and moved from Frizzell, Kansas, a circa 1880s limestone cooling house, a 1929 Santa Fe Railroad Depot also moved from Frizzell, Kansas, and a 100-year-old church which was the first African-American church in Larned, Kansas. Besides the 2 buildings, 2 windmills stand on the museum grounds. A rare wooden Monitor windmill just recently restored, and a steel windmill that was original to the site where the Santa Fe Trail sits today. The Woods and Farm Auto Edition is a recent addition to the museum grounds to shortly contain agricultural and automobile objects to tell the story of the engine and farming in rural Kansas. This new edition will be opening soon in October 2008.